Now, we've all gone to the store and bought these pre-packaged containers of chicken. I mean, it's normal. That's what we all do, right? But what if I told you if you were willing to do a little bit of work and put a little bit of effort in, you would be able to save yourself a ton of money and get a lot more value. You're also getting a lot more extra with getting the whole chicken than you do getting this pre-packaged stuff, as I'll show you later in this video. So now that we have our whole chicken, we're going to look at breaking it down. First cut you're going to want to make is right in between the leg and the side of the body. You're going to take that skin down so that you can bend the legs back. Once you have all that taken down and you can bend those legs back, you're going to grab the inner part of the thigh and go all the way around till the bone sticks out like this. Once that sticks out, you're going to pull the joint forward on its side and you're going to cut straight through to the bottom side of the chicken. That should be a clean, easy cut with very little resistance. Then you are going to do the same thing to the other side. And there you have it, legs are done. Next we will move on to the wings. You're going to cut in what I like to refer to as the armpit section of the wing. You're going to work your knife around there until you find the joint. Once you find it, you're going to pull it back and expose it, just like we did on the thighs. Put the knife right in there and it should cut clean through, and there's your wing. And once you have one wing off, you guessed it, do the same thing on the other wing. Not exactly sure what happened to this wing, but I got some bone sticking out, which is not normal, but it will make it easier cutting that end off later, so whatever. Time to take care of the chicken breasts. What we're going to do here is we are going to find the backbone and we are going to run our knife right along that backbone. We're going to keep our knife as close to the bone as we can as we cut through. As you can see, you're going to take pretty long, thin strokes here. You're going to keep scraping the side of that bone, making sure to get as much meat off as you possibly can. This part is a little bit more difficult for someone who hasn't done a chicken breakdown before, so please just take your time with it. There's no point in risking getting hurt by trying to rush. Eventually, you will get down to the bottom and you will get the chicken breast completely off of the chicken, and it'll look like there's still some meat left, which is fine. Don't stress about that. You actually kind of want to leave a little bit of meat because that'll help later on with something else, but as you work your way down, you'll get the breast completely cut off, and there'll be the breast itself, the tenderloin, and the skin. Now, what I like to do is remove the skin because I don't usually have the skin on my chicken breast, but you can leave it on if you want to, but we actually are going to use the skin for something else later as well, so do not discard this. Just set it aside so we can use it later. Usually you do a couple cuts along the skin and then it'll peel off pretty easily. Now, to remove the tender, all you're going to do is flip it over. You're going to find it. You'll flip off the flap here, and there's the tender. You just grab it and peel it right off. Not a problem. Now, this particular piece of chicken breast had a little bit of extra fat here on the edges, and I just wanted to clean that up real quick just because it doesn't really cook down very well, and I want more of the meat of the breast than any kind of fat left over. And there's one breast. Obviously, we're going to work the same type of thing on the other side with the other breast, working our way down till it's off, and then you'll have your 2 chicken breasts. Again, peel the tenderloin off, peel the skin off, there's your other chicken breast. This leaves us with just our carcass that we will now set aside for future use, and move into breaking down our wings. The wing's pretty easy. You just follow this angle right here between the drumstick and the flat, and if you hold it up at this angle and cut straight down, you typically find it right in that crease, and it should cut through without any real resistance. The flat sometimes likes to fight with you, but you kind of take the same approach down that angle, and it should find the joint, cut straight through. If you need to use a little bit of force, it's fine, but it shouldn't really be too difficult. Now your flat and wingtip are separated. Go ahead and set those aside and do not discard your wingtip. Your thigh and drumstick work pretty similarly. Now you have the bone right in here, and you're going to pick it up, kind of cut right down the drumstick to that corner where you should find the bone in the crease, and it should cut straight through. Super easy. You'll do the same thing obviously with your other thigh and drumstick and your other wing. Now this next part is optional, but it is removing the bone from the thigh. It's pretty simple. You just kind of pick the bone, cut straight down from one end to the other, and just work your knife around it. Keep doing that over and over again, shaking off a little bit of meat each time until you expose the bone more and more. And then I like to pick it up on its side and kind of like cut down through this end of it. That way it's a lot easier to work the meat off as I'm pulling the bone away, and it just comes out real clean. Now we have our bag of our carcass and bones and our meat separated that we'll put in the freezer. Next we'll take that leftover skin and cut that into small pieces into a pan that's on medium heat and let that cook down. Once it's nice and crispy and all the fats and oils have cooked out of it, you'll set those pieces aside. And this is one of the benefits of having a whole chicken, is you can take your skin and make schmaltz out of it. So you might still be sitting there thinking, okay, so I got a whole chicken now that I have to break down, but I still don't understand how it's better than getting the prepackaged stuff. And the reason for that is that whole chicken cost me $7.50. That $7.50 got me 2 chicken breasts, 2 thighs, 4 wings, and 2 drumsticks. Not to mention the chicken carcass and bones that I can use later on. Not to mention I'm able to utilize the excess skin to cook that down, render the oil and fat out of it, and have a nice cooking oil called schmaltz. And next week, we're gonna go over the real reason why you wanna be able to break down your own chicken. You're gonna get a lot more added value from the things you can do with the carcass and the bones that you're not going to get out of buying pre-packaged chicken. So if you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.